Hey everyone, today I want to show you how easy it is to make chocolate chip cookies. This is something that I did with my grandmother time and time again, and I always think of her when I do this. And it's just a fun, super fast, easy treat to make for your whole family, friends. I've made these for my adopted grandparent program. So I want to show you, I do have a cookbook right here. It is the Magnolia Table Volume 1, Joanna Gaines's cookbook. So normally I could probably do this just through memory, but because I'm doing this on camera, I have a feeling I might have to glance on over and check this out. So anyways, so today we're gonna make chocolate chip cookies. I'm using semi-sweet chocolate chips. Feel free to use whatever you want. I actually just go through my pantry and find whatever chips I have. Sometimes I'll mix them together like semi-sweet with white chocolate. And I have pecans, and so I'm gonna add them to the cookies. Again, make your cookies whatever you want it to be. You can just start with this base and then just add into it. Add marshmallows. Oh, that sounds good. Add marshmallows. Chocolate chips, pretzels, do all kinds of stuff. Get real creative with your cookies. The more the better in a cookie for me. I have such a sweet tooth. But anyways, okay, so we're gonna get started. So like I said, this is Joanna Gaines's recipe. This is not my own. I just wanna show you how easy it is. I used to be super intimidated with cooking, and you know, I used to read recipes and then not like really understand, like, okay, what are they talking about? Like, I need to see how this is done. So that's what I'm gonna show you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by mixing our dry ingredients together. And I learned that that is a thing. You always have to mix dry ingredients together and then you mix your wet ingredients together. Never knew that. So I made plenty of mistakes. I'm just gonna roll up my sleeves. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the flour, baking soda, and salt mixed together in this bowl. And like I said, I've made this 1,000 times, but because I'm doing this on camera, I'm gonna probably have to follow this recipe step by step. And let's go ahead and do this. Now, the one thing that I did not know, and people have their opinions on this, is that when you scoop flour, you're not actually supposed to scoop it out of the jar because you get, or container, bag, or whatever, because you'll get too much flour. You're actually supposed to spoon your flour into your measuring cup. I had no idea. So that's what I do. And I've noticed the difference, especially when making cookies. I like my cookies to be fluffy, kind of like little poof. But if I don't do this process, if I just like forget and just start scooping out of the jar, my cookies will be flatter. Not that they taste any different, but they're just flatter. So again, I had no idea. This is something that I saw on cooking shows. I Googled it. Some people say that they can't even tell the difference in their recipes when they do it like this. So, okay, so we're gonna do 2.5 cups of, this is just all-purpose flour. Just your standard basic flour. Okay, so there's 2.5 cups right there. All right, and then a heaping teaspoon of baking soda. So when I read this recipe for the very first time, again, had no idea. My grandma made the cookies and then I just got to add the chocolate chips and like whatever else we were throwing in there. So when it says heaping teaspoon of baking soda, I'm like, well, what's heaping? Like, how much is heaping? So I'm just gonna show you what I do. Again, yeah, that's a little much. So that's heaping to me, okay? That's what I put in. And then it says 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I don't really measure too much. In fact, I actually like salt with chocolate, so sometimes I add a little bit extra. So you're just gonna mix this together. Let me get this out of the way. You're just gonna mix this together, so dry ingredients, and then just set it aside. All right, it's just nice and blended together. All right, so now we're just gonna set this aside. Not kind of set it aside, we are gonna set it aside. All right. Get this out of the way. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in our mixer, and you can use this with the hand mixer too. This doesn't have to be done in this kind of a mixer. Do it in a handheld mixer. I've done that 1,000 times. Okay, so you're just gonna throw in a stick of butter at room temperature. If your butter is not at room temperature, pop it in the microwave for like 5 seconds. Make sure you don't melt it, and then it should be fine. And then we're gonna add 2 cups. Now with this, you definitely wanna pack it down. Brown sugar, okay? I am using golden brown sugar. Now, if you're like me, new to cooking, all that stuff, I really didn't know what the difference was between dark sugar, brown sugar, dark sugar, golden sugar, light sugar, all of that stuff. Come to find out, it's the molasses that's in sugar that makes it brown, and the darker the sugar, the more molasses that's in there. No clue. My mind was blown a few months ago, I'll tell you that. Ignorance is definitely a bliss. But anyways, so I'm using golden brown sugar. You can use, I have used dark brown sugar with this recipe before. The darker the sugar, the chewier the cookie for me. And the sweeter it is because it has more molasses, it has more sugar in it. So this recipe does call for light brown sugar, but sometimes I'm like, I just want cookies, but I don't have it. I'm just gonna use whatever I have in my pantry. I've done it where I've mixed light brown sugar with dark brown sugar, nothing happened, you know? And so, don't worry if you don't have light brown sugar. It does not affect the cookie when you make them. In my experience, I have not had cookies come out bad because of extra molasses. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn your mixer on, hand or this, and you're just gonna let this, let me find the little thing. It's gonna get kind of loud. So you're just gonna let this mix together until it becomes one. Until it becomes kind of like a soft, fluffy mix. It says like a couple of minutes, but depending, like the butter is sticking. But it depends on, like, if you're using a hand mixer too, it would probably be a lot faster because you don't have to, because you can, you know, aim your whisk around the bowl. But just for a couple of minutes, just on medium speed. Just so it all, like I said, blends together. And let's see what else we're gonna do. Okay, got it. I don't want to talk over this because it could be annoying, because it's just loud. So I'll wait till this is blended together. Okay, see if I can tilt my machine to kind of show you what we're looking for. Okay, so I just want to show you, because I know there are some people out there that have never made cookies before in their life, and they're like, what is it supposed to look like? This is what it's supposed to look like, okay? It's all blended together. So let's put this back on here. All right, so then you're gonna add your 2 eggs. All right, mix it for a couple of minutes. Okay, so you want to just mix this until it's well blended. You don't want to over mix it. All right, so there you go. And it's gonna be 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Now with cookies, you can't go wrong. So sometimes I'll add like almond flavoring. You can put mint. I did that with during Christmas. I added a little bit of mint when I put the chocolate chips in. Get creative. You cannot mess this base. Is basically what we're building, is like this base. You cannot mess this up. And it's so much fun to play around with. Like I said, add whatever you feel like. Make it just like a smorgasbord of all of the good stuff in a cookie. That's what's so fun about making cookies. Okay, so now we've got all of our wet ingredients in here, which is the brown sugar, the 2 cups of brown sugar, a stick of butter, unsalted butter. Okay, that's what the recipe says. If you have salted butter and that's all you have, it will work. I have done that before, it will work. Your 2 eggs, and then 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, so now we're gonna add our dry ingredients. Okay, and we're gonna mix this slow because I don't want it to become a poof of flour in my face. So just let this mix slow. And the one thing that I learned, so the first time that I ever made this, I should have known the dough was really sticky. Your dough should never be sticky. If it's too sticky, you should add a little bit of flour. I mean, a little bit, maybe like a tablespoon at a time, until you get a dry consistency. Because that's what the cookies are supposed to look like. I had no idea. They'll come out good. I promise you, they'll come out good. But you want a drier consistency. That's what's gonna make them poof up. Okay, so now you can hear it kind of working. So I'm just gonna scrape down the sides a little bit. All right. And once these are completed, it takes like 8 minutes in the oven to bake. That's it. And then you have fresh homemade cookies. Crazy, huh? Although I do every now and then like to go to Safeway and buy their soft cookies because it's just so delicious. Okay, so that's all mixed together. Okay, now here's where you can decide what you want to put in. So this it says 1.5 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. I put in a bag. That's just what I like. All right, so with the chopped pecans, I don't measure. I roughly put like maybe a cup. Like I said, I like a cookie that has like stuff in it, you know? And maybe next time I'll be adding marshmallows because that I was thinking, all right, we're gonna let it work its magic just a couple of seconds longer. Okay, and I don't want to over mix that as well. All right. So yeah, the marshmallows sounded really good. All right, let's get this all out of the way. And now it's time to bake. I already have my, let me make sure. So my oven's already at 350. I have a large baking pan with parchment paper. You can get parchment paper at the dollar store. I get it there all the time. That's where I love to shop. So, all right, let's get this off of here. Okay. Get all of this good stuff off. I hate wasting anything on this. I make sure I scrape it clean. Okay, so now I just use a cookie scooper. You don't have to use a cookie scooper. You can use a spoon, you can use your hand. And then I just do little balls like this. And just give it about maybe like a ½ inch between each cookie because they of course will spread. And you can make these as big or as small as you want. I did see on, so Joanna Gaines made this. If you go to her Instagram page, she did, I believe, and her YouTube, she made cookies. She made her cookies, but she put this in one of those small little cast iron skillets. Let me show you. So one of these, she put the cookie dough in there and then topped it when it came out of the oven with ice cream and then syrup. Oh my God. I was just like, I need that. It's a super cute dessert, especially if you like for a birthday or something or a special occasion. I think that would be super cute. But see, I have no self-control. So if somebody served me a cookie and that, I would eat it all. And with this, you know, I can try to like have some kind of self-control because I'm like, all right, do you really need the 4th cookie? So again, super easy. Your kids can totally be involved in this. Excuse me. And I know a lot of people are always looking for things to do with their kids. And I'll tell you what, doing this, as simple as it is, really means a lot to children because, like I said, I used to do this with my grandmother. As simple as it was, I'll never forget it. Excuse me. But yeah, make cookies, make memories. So much fun. Goodness, my throat, of course, is tickling now. And like I said, once you get these in the oven, 8 minutes. That's all it takes for these to cook. It's really fast. And I tend to like a chewier cookie, so I don't want them like really dark. I kind of want them on the lighter side. And if you do that, I would say 7 minutes. But I love how there's like so much in this cookie. I can see all the chips, all the nuts, and that's my favorite thing. My friend loves to eat raw cookie dough. I know there's millions of people out there that love that. I could never bring myself to eat this raw. That's just something I can't do. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven and set our timer for 8 minutes. All right, guys, it's been 8 minutes. I've taken the cookies out of the oven and they're resting right here. I let them rest for a couple of minutes. If not, when you go to take them off, they're gonna fall apart. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this pan in. Okay, so I wanna show you how the cookies will come out. Again, if your cookies do not come out like this, totally okay. I did want to show you when I talk about like the consistency of your cookie dough, how it should look. So when I say you want it to be kind of like on the drier side, you don't want the dough to stick to your hands like this. So that's how, when I say dry, that's what you want it to be. So anyways, so I have the cookies and maybe I can attempt to take one off right now. Okay, it worked. Okay, so see how poofy the cookie is? Let me see if I can do it without dropping it. See the height of the cookie? That's what I love. I like the poofiness of it. That's when I know that I've done a recipe right. But believe me, I will not hesitate to eat a cookie that is flat. I will definitely eat that. And then what I'm doing now, let me just kind of move this over, just putting it onto a cooling rack. So like I said, 8 minutes in the oven, that's all it should take. As you can see, they're not super dark. They're very light. That's how I like them. If you like a crispier cookie, leave it in for just a little bit longer. All right. And I hope that with doing these videos on cooking, because like I said, I'm no professional. I have not been doing this for years. This is just something that I have been experimenting with cooking and baking and all of that, and then just not really finding what I'm looking for on the internet, as opposed to like, just show me the basics, be very thorough, and you know, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old, because that's how I want to learn how to cook. Because like I said, it can be very intimidating. A lot of people are like, it's just food, it's just, but I guess because I am a perfectionist in a way, that I really strive to like make it the best. So this made 15, I have 15, I think I have like another 9. So this makes about 30 cookies. And that's using like a medium-sized cookie scooper. I think the recipe calls for, let me just show you the book real fast for those who are not. It makes about 40 cookies is what this says. So that's about right. This is the book. She has 2 books. It's the first volume. And if you go on to Joanna's Instagram account and like I said, on her YouTube channel, I believe you can see her making this in her house, her way, all of that good stuff. But this, you can grab this at Costco. That's where I got mine. Amazon. I know it's on the Magnolia website, I believe. Amazon's cheaper and so is Costco. But anyways, we're just gonna finish up these cookies and call it a day. And this is like my go-to recipe. Whenever people are like, are you gonna bring anything? I'm like, oh my God, let me whip up some cookies, because it's really that simple. But here we go. Just about done. And I hope you guys enjoy watching this. If so, just like, I guess, like, how do the YouTubers say it? Leave something in the comments below, or give it a thumbs up. That's what they say, right? But I will be doing more cooking shows, because I've discovered some really fabulous dishes. And I say cooking show very, very loosely. So don't write in comments, this is not a cooking show. This is just me in my kitchen showing you how to make some really good stuff, really easy, without having to be a professional. So, okay, we've got this. I'm gonna go ahead and let these rest. I've got some more in the oven, throw these in afterwards, and then I'm gonna call it a day. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Like I said, make it your own, add whatever you want into it. It'll be tasty anyways.